Hello everybody and welcome to Hunt Showdown, the most immersive horror extraction shooter out there. The game recently got a massive update and in this video I'm going to give you an overview of the changes and my impressions for the game. I'm going to start with the graphics and performance of the game. The new upgraded cryengine looks amazing. It now supports DirectX 12, DLSS and FSR. And I have to say, I really love what they've done with the lighting. The game feels more alive and more immersive than before, and also the color palette looks more vibrant without taking away from the haunting atmosphere of the game. But with great graphics comes great hardware requirements. While the game has always been demanding, with this patch I've seen a lot of complaints online about performance. If you have a strong PC, like I do, I don't think you will have problems. And for me the game played much smoother than before on the same hardware. Most of the issues from what I've seen are for mid to low range PCs, and depending on your hardware, your performance will vary. I suggest messing with the settings and maybe watch some performance tips video to see what works for you. Also, there are quite a few bugs with the new update, like your usual audio and visual glitches, and some game-breaking ones. For example, in a couple of games my weapons were invisible, I couldn't see them so I couldn't aim. And while I didn't have any crashes, the game froze a couple of times, so I had to restart. The good thing is that the reconnect feature works fine, so I was able to get back in the game I was playing. And what I noticed is that these major problems happened after long hour sessions, like after a couple of hours of playing or more. So overall performance is not great. I want to note here that the devs released a hotfix yesterday that addresses some of these issues. As for the audio, it continues to be one of the main features of the game. Of course, there are enhancements and improvements here too. For example, there are changes on the speed of sound over distance. Also, gunshots and explosions audio now reflects and echoes off large environmental structures like mountains. Weapons should sound tighter and more powerful now. And many other audio mixing changes throughout the game. Overall, the audio in this game is amazing and I think now it's even better. So now, let's move to my favorite part of this update, the new map. Mammon's Gulch is the name and it's here to stay. With the new map we move from the swamps of Louisiana to the mountains of Colorado, and I have to say it's great. First, the new map is just beautiful. The upgraded cryengine really shines here, and the new mountain biome fits very well with the game. From the mountains to the forests, the rivers, the underground mines, and the 16 new and unique locations, everything looks great and fun to traverse. But for me, the most important change with the new map is how the devs use this new biome to bring more elevation and verticality to the gameplay. This alone makes the game much more fun to play for me. Now you have more options to engage or approach a situation, there are less flat open field areas and it's easier to find cover, making the game more dynamic. I think this map was a much needed change and will help the game stay strong for the future. Also to add, in the patch notes says that the old maps will be reintroduced in a reworked state in upcoming updates. And while staying on the topic of elevation, let's jump from the highest point of this patch to its lowest. The UI, and yes, it's bad, and the players didn't like this. In fact, if you go to the game's Steam page, even now, the recent reviews are mostly negative and most of the complaints are for the UI and performance. Fans of the game were expecting much needed improvements in UI with this update, and what we got feels like a step back. Overall, the new UI is just not good. It's cluttered, it's hard to navigate, and it takes time and many clicks to do anything. The good thing is that the devs heard about the complaints of the community and they plan to address these issues. They even released a developers update video talking about the problems and their plans in the future. I will leave a link to the video in the description below. Now, let's see some of the major gameplay changes of this update. First, we have changes to the core gunplay experience. The crosshair position can now be customized between two preset positions. We have centered, with the crosshair being in the center of the screen, which is now the new default, and lowered, which is the legacy setting, with the crosshair being 20% below the center of the screen. I've been playing with the new default option and it feels better for me, but you can always change to the old setting if you don't like it. Then we have changes with the ballistics of the game, with the devs saying that they are now applying projectile ballistics to the entire arsenal. We have bullet drop range and drop intensity adjustments, custom ammo adjustments that are now being affected by the new ballistic changes, and much more. Honestly, there are so many adjustments and ballast changes that it would take forever for me to go through all of them. If you want more details, you can see the full patch notes on the game's Steam page. Also, like every major update, there are new weapons and variants for existing ones, like the 1865 carbine and the infantry 73L, both being lever-action repeating rifles, with 73L also having a sniper variant. We also have a new tool, the bear trap, that if positioned well it's really strong, I know I fell into one, and some new custom ammo for existing weapons. Lastly, a few other important changes are that now a downed player will burn much faster than before, the choke clouds have their duration reduced by half from 120 seconds to 60 seconds, fall damage is decreased overall and more forgiving, and in bounty hunt mode the number of supply points have been reduced from 5 to 4. And finally, we have a new event called Scorched Earth that will last till October 7th. As per usual, there is a new battle pass with cosmetics, and if you care about the lore of the game, there is a story mode where you can listen to the story of the Scorched Earth event through 15 audio chapters while progressing the battle pass. Also, I forgot to mention, there is a cool new boss, the Hellboar. His fire attacks are devastating, but you don't need to banish him in order to pick up the bounty. Plus, he can be found in the open world instead inside of buildings like the rest of the bosses, making him a more risk-rewarding gauge for players. And those were some of the major changes of this huge update. For me, this update was very good in general. It feels like the game got a second release. Even the name changed a bit with 1896 added in the end. I like most of the changes and improvements they made, and the new map is a much needed fresh air for the game and a blast to play. Yes, there are bugs and performance issues, and yes, the new UI sucks. But even with mostly negative recent reviews on Steam, the game managed to reach its highest number of concurrent players in its history, with little over than 60,000 on Steam and 100,000 across all platforms. Overall, I think the game is in a better state now, and it's the best time for someone to jump in. What do you think of the new update? Have you played the game? Do you enjoy the new map? Leave your comments below, like and subscribe if you enjoy the video. I wish you a nice day, and I will see you on the next one.